Hello friends, welcome back to Markets of Sunshine. This is Marcia. Thank you for joining me here today on my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to share with you a fun little project. This is my first time doing this particular technique. Now I have made paper bag journals before, and I've showed you how to do that with just a regular lunch paper bag. But today we're going to make journals out of paper bags, and we're going to use different types of paper bags. So this is similar material that they use for the lunch bag, but it's smaller, as you can see. So it's such a cute little size. I love this. So this is something that you could put food in, like cookies, if you were going to bake cookies. It doesn't have a glassine inside part. Usually they have it as glassine if you're going to put food in it, but you could wrap your cookies in wax paper and put them in here if you wanted to. But anyway, so we're going to turn it in excuse me, into a journal. So what we're going to do is we're going to just fold it, and we're going to leave this cute little decorative edge here, or I might get my pinking shears, is what I was thinking to do, is get the pinking shears and either trim that off or just for extra reinforcement, but I don't think it's not gonna fold inside easily. So yeah, so I'm just gonna take the pinking shears and trim this off, and then we're gonna make a journal out of a glassine bag. Now, I've never seen that done, but I didn't go searching to see if anyone had ever done it before. So you and I will make it for the first time together here. So if you've never made one either, we'll be making them together. So you can use any size paper bag that you have. It can be a glassine bag, or it can be a craft paper type of a bag, and it can be any size. So as you can see, this is going to be a cute little journal. Just a darling little size. I love this size. And then it will have a pocket on the end, and then we're going to decorate the cover. So what I'm going to do differently today also is something I've never done before, is tea bag art. So I'm going to show you a different layering technique using a napkin, cheesecloth, and a little small paper doily with our tea bag. So we're going to be doing tea bag art and paper bag journals. Excuse me. So right here is the glassine bag. So what I'm doing is I've already started this technique, and I wanted to give it a drying process, get it going. And so I started off with the glassine bag, and then I layered it with cheesecloth on top of the glassine bag. So I thought about it. I said, okay, how can we do this differently? Because you've seen it where you take the glassine bag or the paper bag, or even a piece of newsprint or book pages, magazine pages, and you've put the napkin over the top of that. And then usually we put the cheesecloth on top of that. So I did it reverse. So this is the size of the glassine bag that I used, and I took and turned it upside down so that the opening is on the bottom, and then this piece, a longer piece, is on the top. So that way I could glue all the way down to the end, because if you start on this side and you do that, you're going to seal your bag shut. So I started on the back, and I've never glued like this before to a glassine bag, so we're going to find out how that all turns out. I have glued onto a bag, but not in this particular type of layering. So the first thing I did was put the cheesecloth. So let me bring this up so that you can see a close-up, and as it's drying. So it's only been drying for about 20 minutes, but if you can see right here, you can pick up the texture of the cheesecloth. More in the white areas, you can see it's just kind of like wrinkling around the cheesecloth a little bit, kind of like as the glue is going down into the little openings of the cheesecloth. So I thought that was really giving it a really cool effect. So you can see the cheesecloth peeking out at this end here. Now this napkin had its natural fold here on this side. So I turned it so that the image was going to be going in a horizontal, even though it's upside down on this end, but that's fine. But I just wanted to be able to see the image, so if I turned it the other direction, the houses would be sideways and that wouldn't look good. So on this open space here of the glassine bag, I just came in with a piece of lace, and the cheesecloth was peeking out just a little bit. So I have a watered down glue mixture that I'm using. I'm not using it straight out of the bottle. I watered it down, so half glue, half water, 50-50 ratio. And so then now this is becoming very stiff. I can already feel that lace and the cheesecloth is adhering to the glassine bag very nicely, just like I want it to do. So I'm going to let it dry a little bit more. And then on this side, the same thing. I wrapped around the cheesecloth and the napkin, but I haven't glued it over here yet, even though it's sticking a little bit up here, so I better open it up now that I can turn it over very carefully, because this end here is not, it's on the back of the bag, but I don't want it to tear apart here. So let me loosen this up so that I don't have it. Okay, so now you can see it. So here's the glassine bag, here's the cheesecloth, and then here's the napkin. So I'm going to just very carefully take that apart so that I can get this off of there, and then I'll be able to open it up and glue it the way I need to glue it. Okay. So now this bottom piece is still gluing. I'm trying to get that off of there very carefully. Okay, now here we go. So now let me show you the technique so you can see underneath. So here's our pocket. So what I want to do is I'm going to take a sheet of the wax paper, and I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to put it inside this pocket to help prevent that bag from gluing together. So I've never done this technique before, so like I said, and I wasn't sure with the glassine bag, gluing it on both sides, what would happen. So in order to prevent that, now I've had to put the wax paper in the middle. So now here's my solution of watered down glue, and I'm going to, I have the ceiling fan on because this stuff, I keep it in here with the little plastic bag over the top, and then I twist the side of it and I keep it closed with a clothespin, and this has been in here for months and it stayed perfect. There was no mold growing on the top because I thought, oh, this is going to be a fun experiment. Is it going to grow mold or what? But no, it did not. So let me show you this technique, and it's very easy to do. We're just going to apply this watered down glue all to this side of the glassine bag, and then we're going to fold the cheesecloth over onto the wet glue, and then we're going to fold the napkin over. But you want to have your glassine bag thoroughly wet, but you want to protect your surface. I have a piece of wax paper down here, and I want to have it big enough, bigger than the glassine bag, which I came awfully close down here at this end. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention. It's like right about this much, but I had left further. And then you may want to wear gloves because this is a very sticky, wet project. You want to have it well ventilated. You don't want to use a heat gun on this because the glassine bag will melt with a heat gun. So you want to give it where you could have a fan going, or even if it's humid outside, it's going to even take it longer. But if you could put it in a room with a fan blowing, that's your best option to be able to get it to dry quicker. And so we're going to do two techniques, and so this first one is on a glassine bag. So I hope that you are enjoying this and will join me if you have any used tea bags. And the reason why I say used is that you're going to have the staining from the tea, so it's a natural tea dyeing process on the tea bag material, And then when we open it up, and the techniques that whatever we want to do with it are going to be enhanced by this tea-dyed little piece of paper. But if you don't have one that has already been used, you don't want to take the time, whatever, cut it open just like it is, and you can ink it up with some kind of a whatever color you want that could resemble the tea staining. You could do it that way. Or you could just open it up and do coffee dyed instead of tea dyed, or go ahead and brew it and get your tea dyed and then let it dry. You could speed the drying up with that, with a heat gun. That would be perfectly fine. All right, so I am going to get my gloves on, so just give me a second. Okay, gloves on. And I even have a mask on because this combination, and when it's sealed up like this, it just gets to me. All right, so just a very generous, try not to go over that edge of the opening of the bag. You do want to get to the edges. And I love this glue 50-50 water because it just lets it, you know, glide onto this so easily. Really, really nice. Okay, pull your cheesecloth over tight. And see, you're going to have to get your hands involved in this, so that's why I recommend gloves. Really get that glue into that cheesecloth. Okay, now I just keep stirring it because I know that the glue will be heavier and it wants to settle at the bottom. Okay, so now just come in with a layer of the glue liquid on top of the cheesecloth and the bag, really getting it down into that, all the little crevices of the cheesecloth. Just enjoy yourself. Take your time. Crafting is not to be rushed. This is a time to relax, to unwind, you know, have your favorite music on, your favorite beverage, maybe some snacks if you like. I don't usually snack when I'm crafting, but I do have my water, and sometimes I'll put music on in the other room. Okay, so now know that the napkin doesn't go all the way to the edge of the bag, so I'm going to have to get my piece of lace out here in a minute. Okay, so now getting this napkin, pull it over and lay it down, smoothing it out and just really pushing it into that cheesecloth. And what I like about this technique, what I've noticed, is that the cheesecloth helps the napkin not to tear as easily. So I've not had any, you know, issue with that like I would normally. Get up any glue that's come over the edges. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing and put the lace, and I think I will put a little bit of regular tacky glue down this edge. I didn't do it on the other side, but I think I will on this side. Okay, and I'm using my vintage lace. Doesn't have to be vintage lace. It can be any lace you have. Could use a piece of fabric if you wanted. It doesn't even have to be lace. And again, make sure you press it with your gloves or your finger, but I recommend gloves because it's a very messy project. Making sure the lace is all the way to the edge. You definitely have plenty of time for adjusting, not the napkin, but definitely this little open spot here. Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Now, as you can see, look at the nice, let me lift it up here, give me a second. Now, look at the nice texture that the cheesecloth is giving it. Isn't that really, really nice? I love that look. Just beautiful. Okay, so now, excuse me, I'm going to leave this to dry, and then I'll be back in a flash, which you won't even know. And I'm going to go rinse my brush. Okay, here is our adorable little Glassine Bag journal, all completed, nice and dry. And it did take several hours to dry. So you're doing this project, and if you're going to use the watered down glue like I did, then you need to give yourself a good 5 hours for it to dry completely before you can go on to the next steps of adding your signature and your embellishments to the cover and adding anything into your little pocket. So now we have this cute little pocket here at the end. I've put in my signature papers, and I put about 7 pages, and now we're going to work on a beautiful cute little embellishment for the front cover. And so what I'm decided I'm going to use is I'm going to add this beautiful blue paper doily. I'm going to add more cheesecloth just to keep with the theme of putting the cheesecloth underneath the napkin here, and inside you can see the cheesecloth, the texture of it is so nice. You can still see it peeking out here. And what a nice foundation this has made for this journal, and it's such a nice structure now. So I hope you will give this technique a try, and then you'll be able to see for yourself what I'm talking about of the difference in how it feels. So I'm going to just show you the process, and then I'll put everything together. So the next thing I want to do is come along with my tea bag, and I'm going to add a piece of a napkin to the front of that, and that's going to go here. And then I have a cute little tea bag pouch that the tea came in, and then it's got a cute little pocket here for me to put a little tag inside of, and I took a piece of another napkin, and so this is going to come right here. So I'm not sure yet if I'm going to position the napkin on more of an angle, maybe like that, and then this will come in here like this. So, and then I'm still trying to work with the cheesecloth and get it going in positioning it the way I want it to be. Okay, so in order to attach the napkin here to the tea bag, so now I'm looking at it so I know approximately. So I'm going to start off with my Scotch glue stick, and so I'm just going to apply very, very carefully. This is not thick paper, as you know, so very, very gently, just down the middle of the tea bag. Okay, now I'm going to use my tacky glue and just very, very, very smidgen like squeeze it out, and then just kind of dab it along. Very thin coat. You don't want to be having blobs. Very, very thin. And this is going to just make sure that it's going to adhere very well over the top of that glue stick. I decided I did not want to add the watered down glue mixture to this. This has been taking a long enough time as it is, so I didn't want it to to go any, have to wait any longer than I've already been waiting. Come over the top of it with my wax paper, and that really lets me just smooth it out really nice without tearing the napkin or the tea bag. Just gently peel that up. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next step, and that's going to be taking your tea bag pouch, and we're going to add just a book page, and we're going to use the tacky glue. And the back of it is going to be glued down to the doily, so we're not going to put any decoration on the back of the pouch, just on the front. And then I'm going to add a piece of netting to that over the top. So get it lined up the way I want it. Again, using the wax paper, I find this is my best friend when it comes to my assistant in the craft room when I'm using something that is of a delicate nature like this. Oh, beautiful. So we still have our little opening here. Okay, so now let's very gingerly peel this tea bag off of here. Making sure I want to wipe off any glue. Okay. All right, now next step is we're going to put our tea bag right on to the doily. I don't have it glued down yet, so let me move it. Okay. This piece to come over here a little better. Alright, so I'm going to need to add a good amount of glue to the back of this. Just in little dots like this. So it doesn't really matter at this point because I can position the doily any way I want, so I can move it around. But just getting it on here right now is the first major step. Now at this point I can come in with my distressing ink, and I like to use the antique linen and the vintage photo. I don't go to as dark as the walnut stain with this type of a thing. When I'm going to do maybe something I want it to have a little more significance, so let's just going right over that wet glue. Over the cheesecloth, so I'm adding color to that. It was already like a creamy colored cheesecloth, but I want it to have a little bit more. Okay. Now let's get our journal and see how we want to position this. So now I can start turning it so that it's going more this direction. And then when I'm ready to glue this into place, okay, so I was thinking that I might like to take a piece of cardstock, glue this to the front of it, and then glue just 3 sides this way so that I have another tuck spot in the back. So I'm before I get all this put into place, I just want to think about it one more time, otherwise I'll just have this setting here and then that will be a little pocket there. And I'm thinking too, because I'm just feeling like I want to, but I guess it'd be all right. I wanted to give it a little bit more stability. Okay, now let's go ahead and attach the little pocket made from a tea bag pouch. This is a cute little instant ready-made pocket. I love these. I used one of these one time in a project when we were doing our hidden altered paper clips. So if you've been with me for any length of time, you may remember seeing me do that. Very, very nice. Okay, let me come in here. Okay, so pocket's still there. Just a very tiny, tiny little pocket, which is fine. It's fun. Nice to do something different. Okay, so now, looking at how this was put together, it's really going to be a tiny little piece that's going to go in here. So we're going to take this book page that I had left over. I've torn that off. All right, and let me see. I would like to have just a nice, hopefully, a cream colored piece of cardstock. Let me see if I'm going to be able to place my little fingers on it at this spot. Okay, I've got paper. All right. I always like to look through my scraps first, and then if I don't find what I'm looking for, then we go to plan B, which is go get a new piece. Okay, so I did find something in the scraps that's going to work. All right, so first of all, we're going to put this in the little pocket and see, is it the right size or do I need to cut it smaller? Okay, all right, we're gonna have to cut it down. All right, and then let's see how far, and I want it to stick up a little wee bit. See if that's the right measurement. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Yep. Standing up just the amount I want it to as well. So isn't this so cute? I mean, look at how quick and easy. These are just fun little gifts you can make. Fun little daily journals. cute little personal diary kind of a thing, you know. Okay, so obviously we want to decorate this side, and we want the other side for the journaling. And then just take the scissors, trim off the edges, get any glue out of the way. I just cleaned the scissors, so and I don't know what you like to use to clean your scissors with, but I just use straight isopropyl alcohol. Seems to work the best. Go ahead and wipe those off. Okay, now I want to just make that a little more taggish looking. Trim that off. Just eyeball it. We don't need to, you know, start worrying about that. And let's get our little dauber. Start inking it up. And I thought that this journal would make a really nice diary journal. So I was looking up today, what are the different types of journals that people are using today? Junk journal is like 0 on the list. So it's only those people that were here on YouTube that have a channel and sell them on Etsy that are really into them. There's not people searching for them. Okay, but diary journals, that seems to be something that has become very popular with people. So I'm like, hey, cool. I like diaries. I like journals. All right, so we have to make something, we have to add something really cute to the front of this. So I was going to use a piece of this netting and cover the front of that, but I just don't see it happening. But I may be able to make a little cluster out of it, and then I can glue that. So I'm just going to take a little piece of this netting. You know, it's nice to, when you're watching someone's process, you know, what are they doing, you know, and it helps unlock your creativity. So that's what is watching other people and watching the different channels is all about, is we're unlocking, where did it go? There it is. We're unlocking our creativity. It's supposed to be blue, but against that white wax paper, it doesn't look blue. All right, so I'm gonna use both colors. I want this to be more colorful. So if I can find the end of this, here we go. There's a piece here. Okay. I want the sparkly. I want to see the sparkly. Okay. Oops. 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 I've got another project going on over here. So let me get this. And I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe like a little smidgen of lace. Let me see if I have a smidgen of lace hanging around here anywhere. That would be of the appropriate color. These are all of my vintage laces. I was gifted these Do we want to add more yellow? I thought I had a blue, but by Jazzy Joe, I don't see it. Okay. Okay. Just a little smackerel of that, as Winnie would say. Okay. It's all coming together so nicely. I'm really enjoying this project. I love all these little journals. I'm just making all different types of journals, and that's what I'm going to be continuing to do with you here on my channel, is making different types of journals, talking to you about the different types of journals that are out there, what you can use your journal for. Okay, so now what we want is we want to add something so that we can adhere all this to. So what just popped into my little mind was we're going to use a punch. And we're going to punch a piece of cardstock, I'm thinking, that is going to be the background for our little cluster. I was going to do the scallop, but it's going to be too big. But this is going to be perfect. Alright, so here is actually a laminated piece of digital paper. So, I'm thinking, even this up. And I'm going to come right here. Oh, I like that. And I did just recently show you how to laminate one side, because I've done it before in the past, but I did it again because if you're new to my channel, you may not have seen me do it. So I wanted to show you. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine, because I did stitch the signature into that. But you know, I want to add something. I want more. Okay, so let me see. Yellow down first, going this way, a piece of lace, and then the other piece of blue. Okay, that's toning down that blue. I like that. Okay, now we're going to put this over here on here. I love it. Okay, so I'll be right back, and I'm just going to stitch all the way around the edge. Okay, so here's the cute little cluster. Napkin, napkin, napkin. Here we go. Didn't remember throwing it away, but obviously I did because I don't see it. Wonderful. Okay, now here we go. Oh, it's so cute. Look at that. Isn't that just, I mean, I am so happy with this project. It just is wonderful. The pocket, I'll make something later for the pocket, and I'll show you what I'm going to put in there. Just cutie, cutie, cutie. Okay, here we go. And so now here's a cute little journal card that I made for this pocket. So I just went ahead and used that same paper. I thought that was really cute. And I wanted to tie it in with the colors and just because I used the paper there for the front. And there you go, that's it. So here we are, a cute little journal. And if you will do this like in a mass producing way. If you wanted to do this for gifts, for instance, then I would say take one day and get your glassine bags or your paper bags and do this technique with the napkin, or you could do it with scrapbook paper and it wouldn't take so long. But anyway, and just if you're going to make multiple gifts, and then you'll have all the covers, all the bags done, and then you can start doing your signatures in the meantime while you're waiting for this to dry. Get all your signatures together, decide what you're going to do for your cover, design your whole little embellishment for your cover. Then when all the bags have dried, now you can come back and then just easily attach your front cover embellishment, and then have your journal cards ready for the pockets. I just decided I would put one in here, but I could also put one a little bit smaller because this is our cute little roomy pocket. So I may or may not decide to do that, but then adding cute little pull tabs, I mean, these just adds character to the journal. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial with me today on how to use a tea bag and a napkin to make a darling little diary journal using a glassine bag. So I hope you will subscribe to my channel, and if I unlocked your creativity, please like and share and leave me a comment. And if you want to do this project, and if you use all of the supplies that I did, I would love to hear back from you on how your journal turned out. But I would love to know too if this was inspiring to you. So thank you for being here with me today, and I hope that you will use up the supplies in your craft room. Stay safe and keep creating in the sunshine. Bye-bye.